Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very different type of Rocket League Ireland broadcast. This is our brand new podcast idea coming out fresh to you guys on the brand new YouTube channel too. I hope you guys like this new idea. Just as a little bit of an explanation, this is really just a nice little idea for us as staff, both admin and mods, to be able to sort of introduce to you guys what we're like and really give you an idea of what we're thinking about certain things. You know, rather than answering 4, 5, 6 questions from the same people, it's a really nice idea, I think, for us to be able to let you guys know what we're thinking about certain topics, and also you can give some feedback. Don't be afraid to say stuff in the comments. It's nice to know what you guys think. So this is a nice little way of getting a bit of communication across, and also hopefully a little bit entertaining at the same time. As you can see from the title, the first ever topic that we're going to produce is on lands. Now, I am sorry here if it was a little bit clickbaity. I know I cannot announce any lands in Ireland as of yet. We are trying very, very hard, I promise you that, and there should be one on the cards. But as of right now, there's nothing I can say for definite, so I'm not going to crucify myself. I'm not going to commit to anything right now. However, I can still definitely talk about lands, what they are, what they're like, and there is no better man for the job than Mr. Two-time land winner himself, Daithi.
Alright, I'm pleasure to be here, you know. I'm honoured you chose me of all people. Especially since you yourself, you're a veteran land player, and as is Tully, but, you know, you made the right choice, I think.
I mean, I had to. How could I not? We have yourself, the two-time land winner, and just to brag a little bit, myself, undefeated at land. So we really do have a star-studded lineup here for this podcast. But let me just go really, really simply, Daithi. I know you and me know, but just for anyone else who isn't sure now, what is a LAN? And to put it simply, I'm not going to go into any mad technical details, but a LAN, it's basically just when people get a lot of computers into one room and you play a load of games. But it's very, very different to your normal matchmaking because you're playing it face to face. There's so much more sort of, I think you'll agree with me on this, Daithi, there's so much more sort of personality in there. There's such a more personal aspect to a whole LAN environment.
Yeah, there's something great about just like beating someone you've known online for so long and getting to see them, and your first impression of seeing them is you beating them in a tournament or you know knocking them out. It's a feeling. It's undescribable almost in some ways, but it really is great. It really is the pinnacle of the whole game itself. Like what these tournaments are about. It really is just the pinnacle feeling of success and just satisfaction.
Well, I mean, I suppose for yourself, yeah, definitely. I can see why. I have to say the same though. To some extent, after I won that land, the one time I did, the next week I felt like I was some kind of god. I mean, it was completely not true, but it was amazing for that next week. So it was definitely a really good experience. And it's worth pointing out though, we're not even talking about like the mad, crazy, over glorified RLCS style lands. We're just talking about like your regular, I suppose, run of the mill lands that you'd find in a big hall. Like, I mean, these are not highly publicised, but they're still so much fun, it has to be said.
Yeah, even if the LAN is, because it can be entered from a tournament like, you know, a big LAN tournament like RCS, as you said, or quote unquote run of the mill tournaments like the ones we have here in Ireland, or somewhat step up from that, or the ones in England like Epic LAN, you know, Insomnia. But even just getting a few computers around to your friend's house and playing a few games. They don't always have to be competitive, but just the whole thing, just getting a few people together, meeting up in person. It's the whole point of, you know, getting together and just meeting up. The atmosphere is brilliant because most of the time now people are friends, and I've never really seen any toxicity at live events. So, you know, for some of our Irish Rocket League players here, you know, toxicity is their favorite thing. But you know, it's a very friendly and really nice atmosphere to be in, regardless of if you lose straight away or if you win everything. It's really is nice.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. There really is sort of like, there's such a sort of a community feel to it to some extent. Like, you meet people for the first time, and it's amazing because you hear their voice and you never put it with the face, and you go, "Oh my god, it's you in real form. You're there." It's great. It's so good.
I think you're the picture perfect description of that. Your voice doesn't match up. That beautiful baby face of yours.
Well, there's a beautiful story that I tell from time to time that Enrong, the first time he met me, was convinced I was at least 40. And for anyone who doesn't know, I recently turned 19, so that is very very much not
Yeah.
true. So
Belated
yeah,
happy
that was
birthday.
brilliant. Yeah, thank you very very much. But oh no, it's I just think lands are the best, and when you meet
Yeah.
people for the first time, it's amazing, and even the second third time coming back, it's like it's you 3 months later, and you're the exact same, but it's so great. Like it's just it really really is a good feeling, and it's almost like you're meeting someone for the first time, and there's still that
Yeah.
element of nerves and like you know meeting someone for the first time, but you already know them as well. Like you know a bit about their backstory, and you immediately have some common ground. And I think that's why lands sometimes can become so friendly and successful. Like
Yeah, there's a completely like different kind of environment in regards to conversation. Simple things just as a conversation. Like if you were to meet up with a few mates, say go out for a night or meet up at someone's house, the conversation there, you'd all have common interests because you're friends. Usually, there'd be certain conversations, blah blah blah, whatever you did in the weekend, stuff like that. But when you're going to a LAN, 99.99% of the people that are there have one huge common interest, which is the specific game they're playing. So, like I've noticed myself going to LAN, you were saying that you get to put faces to people, but even the people that you don't talk to that much online, because maybe the rank difference is too much. You're not skilled enough to play them, or they're not good enough, or something like that. Maybe they just don't play that much, but they can show up to a LAN. You actually kind of network a lot more, and you get a lot more friendly with people that you really wouldn't have a chance to talk to otherwise.
yeah, no, I actually couldn't agree with you more on that. My friends, like almost none of them play Rocket League. To be honest, they just take the piss out of me for the fact that I play so much of it. I cast it now as well. Like I'm so ingrained in Rocket League at this point. Like they have so much scope to take the piss out of me. But when it comes to a LAN, it's the complete opposite, and it's such a refreshing change to have a
Yeah.
conversation with someone about Rocket League and to actually do something interesting. Like the whole tournament environment really, really is just amazing for meeting new people.
I think like the two LANs that we've attended, obviously you played in one, you casted the second, GamerCon and Gamer Expo Ireland. Like the lads we met there, and I know Warfare and LTX Sam had gone to both of them, but even in the first LAN, like people like RL Junior, stuff like that, we didn't know who they were beforehand. Well, I didn't anyway. But after that LAN, we became friends. Like everyone was friendly with each other. Same thing goes for GXI. We went in. I teamed up with Ross, who I'd never met before. Came back, was much better mates with him after that. And the two lads, LTX and Warfare, got really integrated with the community. And yeah, it's just nice to see that like a lot of growing in the community can be done just from meeting up together and having a laugh.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really good point. LTX and Warfare, I think me and Enrong have mentioned this, especially in the earlier streams that we did. Those guys showed up at GXI. Orel Junior, you said already, he met us at GamerCon, the very first Rocket League LAN. Also, Luke Bracken and Sean Dormer,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they go by one or two different names between PlayStation and PC, but
yeah.
those guys, they were also there too. So it was really really cool to meet those guys and have new people show up. And from a Rocket League Ireland point of view, it's brilliant because we can always advertise ourselves and we can always get another extra few people in. So if there's anyone who's found this somehow and hasn't heard of Rocket League Ireland, please try and get yourself involved because it's a lot of fun. I think though, Dahi, having said all this, we do have to awkwardly come to the fact that the lands weren't perfect.
Far from perfect is what I'd say. I've got a big background in Counter Strike, so I've attended I think about 4 Counter Strike LANs in total. So I'm not going off on a tangent here, as I'm sure you know, but just for any listeners, LANs in Ireland for Counter Strike are a lot more established than the ones in Rocket League. They have a lot more support, both community and external, for financial gains. So it's a lot better. But the main thing about Counter Strike tournaments, now it's not all of them. Sometimes it's like Rocket League, but the majority of them are bring your own PC. So that's where, say, X person rents out a hall and everyone comes in. All it is desks and chairs there. Everyone comes in, brings their keyboard, brings their mice. In our case, if we were doing it, it would be controllers, obviously. They bring their PCs, they bring their monitors, they bring everything. They bring their whole setup. It's like they're playing from home, but with everyone else. So I think that does add to it in the kind of sense that, everyone's setting up together, all this stuff. Like, there's a really good vibe, like going down first day and setting up in these lands. I can't describe to you. It's there's so much buzz and excitement for the next morning, for when it all starts. Everyone's kind of getting to know each other. Maybe teams haven't met each other before. it's a really nice vibe. But whereas Rocket League, the two that we've gone to so far, hasn't had that. We've come up. It's been for GamerCon. It was a excuse my language. It was a shit show. Like there was no PCs for us. There was Xboxes with no Ethernet cables. It was just Wi-Fi. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, there were mistakes in the setup for GamerCon.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So like the whole even just the setup from the start, there was not much community involvement there. It was kind of like, oh, you show up, you play. It was almost like going to an arcade, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that can work. But the lack of players that came really didn't help that at all. I think GamerCon had maybe 5, 6 teams, and GXI had 4 or 3.
GXI, I believe, had 3, which made it pretty disappointing, and that was 3 2v2 teams. GamerCon did a little bit better, and it had about... Actually, I think it had 6 on the first day, which might have dropped to about 4 on the second day. But that second day had... that second day was a 3v3. In fact, both days were 3v3, so technically more people. And also, Daithi, just to go back slightly, I completely forgot that Lynxie and Airside were at GamerCon. So huge apologies to those two guys for ignoring them, because they were also there, and Lynxie in particular has become, well, both of them become pretty well known. So
stand-up players in the community.
That's what LANs can do.
Yeah, that's completely gone through my mind. How did I forget that? Yeah. And especially I remember when, because GamerCon, obviously, you mentioned there, it's a 3v3 tournament. But on the first day, because of how poorly the setup was done, it was actually 1v1s, because only 2 of the Xboxes actually had a good enough connection that had like ping less than 1,000. So I remember we played against Lynxie and Airside's team, and instead of playing a 3v3 best of 3, we had to play like a best of 5 or something, 1v1 each other. And it was all over the place. But that comes down to just lack of outsider knowledge of what we actually need. Like everyone knows League of Legends, they need PCs, blah blah blah. Counter-Strike, they need that. Since Rocket League's kind of a relatively new game now, it's 3 years old, well, coming up to 3 years old now. So maybe I think that was just putting it down to the fact that not many people actually knew, and it was a very new venture, which is one of the big problems we're going to have, that Rocket League so far hasn't actually showed to be anyway profitable for the people organising it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But it's such a new game, and to be fair, the community, especially in Ireland, I think still is growing. But it's so tough. Like Counter-Strike is 10 plus years old. I think League of Legends is even older again. I think it's maybe 15 or a little more. Rocket League is 3, so it has a lot of competing to do. And personally, one thing that scares me a little bit is that Overwatch is coming in now. Now, Overwatch hasn't really taken over that much, but there's a very strong chance it's about the same age, and it's got very passionate followers. So from you guys, what we need to see is people showing up to these LANs. We want to show people organising them that LANs in Ireland can be a thing, especially Rocket League LANs, because, like we're saying, they are so much fun. And just to go back on GamerCon, Daithi, I know it was a terrible setup, but one of my fondest memories by far was the game where we tried to use 6 Xboxes. Only 3 of them actually worked. I don't know if you remember this. Only 3 of them had internet, right? So essentially, you had to 1v2 some team, while me and Tully sat on the goal line on 999 ping. It was honestly incredible watching you do it, and like I will never forget that. It was so funny. I will never forget that. And the 1v1, I think we 1v1'd Lynxie's team.
We did, yeah.
It was such a weird layout. Again, it was unforgettable. It was so cool. I know I am highlighting the bad things, but they were so funny and so memorable. It was really, really good, and nothing could take that away from GamerCon.
Well, you say you're highlighting the bad things, but it's always good to point out where things could have been better. And especially with something like this, you can't really brush over these things saying, next time we'll get Xboxes with Ethernet ports. You need people actually know that they need to do that and know what they don't have to do. Like, I think GXI and GamerCon are like almost perfect foundations, as it can only get better, really. Like, if there was an event worse than either of those two, just setup wise and like turnout wise, I would be very, very shocked. Because that'd be almost like just me walking up, collecting a cash check and leaving because no one else shows up, But I think regardless of and I think it's another good thing that regardless of how bad GamerCon was, and GamerCon as a whole for everything, Counter-Strike and League of Legends was completely terrible. But how many good memories do you have of that? From now, you're just talking about how much you enjoyed it. and that's even with such a terrible setup and such a terrible, just general like gameplay for everyone. You still enjoyed it so much. And I think that speaks a lot about what Alan is like and what Alan can be like.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. And actually, just the last thing to point out, because me and Enrong make jokes about this all the time, but because of that GamerCon LAN and because we all went, and I'm talking about me, Enrong, and Tully really for this one.
Yeah.
It turns out, and this is going to be really strange, like, it turns out Tully looks almost identical to Rizzo. So if anyone ever wants to know what Tully looks like, just look up a picture of Rizzo. You'll get pretty much the same idea. It's actually uncanny. It's amazing. And yeah, just to move on to the GXI LAN. To be fair to the guys who set it up, it was very well set up. They had better computers this time. They had an unbelievable stage. And again, another unforgettable moment right there. The stage was insane, Daithi. I'm sure you yourself playing on it had so much fun. The only thing they didn't do right was advertise it. So that's what hopefully us as Rocket League Ireland are going to be able to fill in next time. Is we'll have a good setup and Rocket League Ireland will be able to advertise it for you guys. But just to go back for a second, Daithi, the stage at GXI must have been so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like I've always played at home, on a wooden back chair, like a really bang average wooden back chair. Like there's nothing special about it. You can probably find it in a kitchen from the 1980s. You know what I mean? And like the setup now, well, it might have sounded like I was bashing the two LANs. GXI's setup was brilliant in some ways compared to GamerCon. Just to start off, they had computers, which was amazing. Now we did have a lot of problems with the computers, but that was kind of just. I think it was more unlucky than anything. I think it was Steam servers and downloading from the internet at the RDS, which kind of screwed us over there. But yeah, the base setup for just like I'm not going to say league play or group play, but whatever the quarterfinals or whatever they were at the start was good. It was good, and it was tenfold better than GamerCon. But then the finals were held on like it was a truck. I think it was like the back of like a classic like 18-wheeler trucks in America or whatever they're called, like 9-wheelers or whatever. I don't know how many wheels they have.
Yeah.
But it was like opened up, and I don't know how many people listen to this actually watched any of the VOD footage from GXI, but it was amazing. I had a stage where Forehead, yourself, and Rob were sitting on stage casting, and then inside a booth where the two teams, myself, Red, X-Dark Arctic X Ross, and Sam and Warfare. And it was so cool. Obviously, now there was a crowd watching us, and I couldn't really see how many people were actually watching us. But I think it was you mentioned that there was a bit of cheering going on, which was a lot more responsive than the other games, the previous and after, which was like Mario Kart and stuff. But just even being in the booth, it kind of felt like you were not at RCS, but it felt a lot more legitimate than say GamerCon, where you kind of just sat at a table, blah blah blah. Like, you know, it was basic stuff. So I think just that itself was a really, really nice touch, and that kind of escalated the actual experience by a lot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. GXI was amazing, but I have to say it was unfortunately a little bit of a missed opportunity in the way that just wasn't quite enough people. We had myself and Enrong who went and we casted it, and we did have a really, really good time casting it, has to be said. But there was yourself and X Dark Arctic X who both played together, and you guys did well out of it. You won it, no complaints there. LTX Sam and Warfare came, and I think there was two other people who showed up on the day to sign up for it, and that really wasn't like, that's not good enough for a LAN to have 6 people. If they genuinely got like 20 people together, that could have been something amazing. And also as well, from just like a purely social point of view, after GXI, you, me, and Rob hung around for ages, and we had a great time afterwards. Like, it's not purely okay, 6 o'clock, everyone goes home, leaves it there. No, like, people stay out and they hang around and generally have a decent time afterwards. Like, that's the beauty of LANs, is it brings people together from all around the country, and you just have one big happy weekend, that has to be said.
Yeah, like the day before, I think it was, we went out for dinner. No, it was nothing fancy. It was a burger restaurant, but like we met up.
Yeah, careful.
Was it the day before? Was it? Yeah, it was.
It was the night
we
before.
met up the day before, got a burger, went out for a pint, you know, had a chill, and then the next day we went in, we played the games, whatever. Ross and his friend, I can't remember what his friend's name. Ross came up with his friend. X-Tech at the X came up with his friend, and they had to go. They were getting lift back to God knows where in the country they live, some farmerland probably.
Kilkenny.
But, that's Kilkenny. Yeah, same thing really. But yeah, like the whole thing that me, you, Rob just chilled out, even though I had to go, like we still managed to chill out for like till about I think 8 or 9, and it was the same with GamerCon almost. Like we remember me, you, Tully went out, got a meal afterwards, kind of chilled out for a bit, and then had to leave. But like bringing this back to CS now, I've actually never had the chance to stay like overnight. Say I played up in Belfast at a LAN, but we got knocked out straight away, so I just went home that night instead of staying over. But even the lads that stayed up there, now it's a different age group, kind of it's a lot more older teenagers to young adults or 30-year-olds, whatever. So there's a lot of drinking can be going on there. So they all like used to go up to bars and they'd go out for pints and stuff like that after. But even the younger lads, they all just met up and had a laugh, like ordered a few Dominoes in, just generally like just talk a bit and mess around like you would. So it's a lot more. I know like the main aspect of it is, as we said, the tournament, playing the games and stuff, but there really is a huge overarching social aspect to it as well.
Yeah,
Anyone can take part. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be old enough to go for a point. You can do anything. That's the best part.
that is one of the beautiful bits about it. You don't have to be old enough to go for a point. You don't even have to be good enough to win to have a good time. I
Yeah.
think that's the best bit. With some of our, pretty much all of our online tournaments, they are great and generally people have good fun. But if they lose after like 2 games, well, they just go home
Yeah.
and they have a sandwich and have their lunch and that's it and that's it. But with a LAN, there's so much more to it. There's such a better atmosphere around it that it really does become a fun event. I love the fact that you bring up ordering some Dominoes. It wasn't Dominoes, but if Tully's listening in, I just want to say Tully and garlic bread is the dream combination. I won't. I'll let him tell the story. But it's so good. So again, you get so many good memories like that from LAN. It is incredible. So, last thing, right? We are likely to have a LAN this year. It's very likely. I don't want to confirm, Anthony. I don't want to blow my chances here, but we are looking good at the moment. For anyone listening in, really, especially from Rocket League, if you live on the island of Ireland, you so need to consider going to the next one. And trust me, we will tell you about it. But Daithi, Mr. Two-time LAN winner, Mr. Two-time player, most importantly at LAN, tell me, just give me a quick overview. How much fun has it been?
Well, just in general, it's been so much fun. But I think the like as you're saying, trying to get one this year, the likelihood of it, it's all about the projection of what we've actually done for the past 3 months, the work we've put in for the past 3 months to like bring the community together. Like you say, remember after GXI, we came back and we were kind of talking about the whole thing. Like we want to have more lands, but is it even possible? Just due to the not the outcome, but the turnout and people looking. Say like the people that hosted GXI, and the people that hosted GamerCon. Now GamerCon I think it was a money grab more than anything. They just tried to make profit, but GXI I'm pretty sure has been going on for years, and they're all about the communities and stuff like that. But they're gonna see Rocket League as 6 people showed up. They paid us 20 quid, and we paid the 2 lads that won it like €280. We're losing money. Well, they're not always in it for a profit. That's an extortionate amount of money to lose for investment gained. So that's the whole reason for our multi tournaments and stuff like that is to kind of build a. It's like almost building a resume of saying so we can show to people that actually host that and saying, look, we run these every 2 weeks, and sometimes we have events in the middle. This is how many people we get on average. It's kind of giving them like a projected income, so to speak, as to how many people actually show up. Because we can just say, we've got a community of 300 people, a Facebook page with 400, 500. But that doesn't mean that anyone's actually interested in playing. Like Counter-Strike has, I think, 2,000 or 3,000 people in the Facebook group.
I believe it's about
the Irish,
3,000, yeah.
The Irish scene is fairly dead in the sense that LANs do get 10 teams, and that is about 50 players, but they could get so much more if the scene was just a bit more like rejuvenated. Like if I left the page recently because of just how much kind of shit posting there was in it, but the page itself is fairly dead. Like there's a few kind of hardcore people in the scene, and they're brilliant. They're loyal. They show up at every tournament. It's brilliant. It really is. The community really is good. But I think if they kind of had more of a rejuvenation process like we have, they'd be getting a lot more investment as well in lands. But yeah, it's just that whole thing of trying to actually get people to come, and that's why we spam people. Like I know people get annoyed that we spam them in Discord about signing up for things, but if we're trying to have a 3v3 LAN, and say for instance this Smash GG tournament we're doing in 2 weeks, or in a week's time, only has 8 people signed up after 4 days of advertising. And that's only 2 teams. So if we're going to show a LAN saying like, look, this is how many teams you're going to get, and all they see is 2 teams in a group of 300 people, it's not very promising.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, the tournament that you're talking about will probably have come and gone by the time we actually post this up. But it's a very good point. Like the
Yeah,
more
true.
the bigger turnout we get for the tournaments, the online ones, it looks better, and we can go to people organizing lands and saying, look, there's a will here. People want tournaments and they want a land. People will
Exactly.
be willing to show up. It looks really good. One thing I'd like to say, just a mild, humble brag. Some of this could arguably be all brought back to my massive post on lands that I made in the Rocket League on Facebook group, of sort of November 2017. Hopefully, it might get linked in the description of the video. But I recommend you check that out because that is, in my opinion, fairly persuasive, and maybe it might persuade you more than anything we've said tonight. The last thing I think I really want to bring up is just if anyone hears of a LAN in Ireland, because at the end of the day, we're just some people who are online. We can't know about everything that goes on in Rocket League in Ireland. So if anyone hears of a LAN in Ireland, please let us know. We can try and get in touch with them. We can try and make it a bigger deal. We can advertise this thing. We can even find you a teammate. Like, I mean, it would be so much better if you can let us know what's going on, because we don't have eyes and ears all around the country 24/7.
Yeah, it's like I remember hearing after GXI, I was kind of annoyed, and this also like the whole me, you, and Rob kind of talking about it when we went out after the LAN, kind of spurred the whole change in the scene. But I remember we were saying, like, people were saying to us, like, I think Aaron Darcy and Joseph, like other mods, other admins, were saying to us, oh, we would have gone if we knew about it. And now I'd seen the post Aaron Jackson, I think it was, yeah, Aaron Jackson put into Rocket League Ireland saying, you know, hey, we're doing a tournament later this month. And that was kind of it. That's all he said. He just kind of said it's a 2v2 tournament. And that's it. There was no link. I have actually the post here, I think. There was no link for it. It was literally just a post saying, hey, we're having a 2v2 tournament, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. And so many people said to us afterwards, we would have gone if we knew about it. So if you find out about land, like recently enough there, someone posted about it the night beforehand. If you find out about that a month in advance or 2 weeks in advance, you could triple the amount of people going just by giving them a chance to organize it, you know, because it's hard for people to get off work. It's hard for people, you know, if they're in school, you have to organize transport across the country. So, you know, just even a simple post in the Discord saying, hey, there's a LAN on in Cavan next week, 50 quid win prize money. Some people would go up for that, and I probably would as well. If yourself and Rob were going up, you know, if we got a few of the lads, like anyone going up, if you got a good following, anyone would go up for it, just for the social aspect, regardless of how much the LAN's actually going to pay for you. You know, it's all about just simple advertising, and we'd get such a bigger response from the community, I think.
Yeah, no, that is pretty much it. I mean, as well, Rocket League Ireland, we've tried to make it clear we are very community driven, so it is about what you guys want, but also if you guys can tell us what's going on, it's so much better. I really couldn't have put it better myself. So just to summarize, LANs are massive fun. I think that's basically what we've said right here.
Yeah.
And yes, we are working very hard to try and make a Rocket League LAN happen in Ireland. I do get questioned this from time to time. We are trying very, very hard. We just can't guarantee it right now, but we are getting close. I think that's pretty much it. We've done pretty well.
We have.
Any last words?
Ourselves. Well, I would say sign up for the tournament, but this, as you said, it's going to be posted too late. So, just if whoever's listening to this now, I doubt many, like, you know, super casual members of the community are going to be listening to this because it's I don't know how long it's going on for, but you know, I'm sure I'm not the most enjoyable to listen to for this length of time. But if you are thinking of, like, if you are kind of on the edge of the community and you're like, you want to play in tournaments but you don't know anyone, or you know, you just don't think you're good enough, honestly, sign up into the Discord, get into the Discord, get chatting to people. You'll find out that you're not as bad as you think. Or if you think you're good, you'll find out you're not as good as you think, but I beat you, but you know. That's all.
No. Keep it tame, Ty, keep it tame. But yeah, I think that's us for today. We won't bore you forever. So thank you very, very much to Daithi for coming in and doing this with me. You see, you hear he has so much experience about this that it can be really, really good once you get used to it. So and thank you guys for sticking around and watching. Hopefully you watch to the end. Hopefully you didn't just skip to the last 5 minutes. You're not one of those people. But there should be more of these podcasts in the future. Maybe some shorter. Hopefully not that many that are going to be longer than this. But we'll see how it goes. And I also cannot promise how regular they'll be, but we'll do our very, very best. So thank you very, very much once again for watching, and you'll hear from me in the next one. Bye bye.